Hi, welcome to Now. I'm Jane. I'm a spiritual guide, so hopefully what I'm about to share is of service and it lands with some love and maybe some inspiration. And if it's upsetting, well, apparently that's just what I do sometimes. So I don't really upset that many people, but I do upset people, and it's so fun. I love it so much. I really don't, but it's just a part of life, right? Like hula hoops. Sometimes we just go round and around. So I have an itch on my leg and it's a mosquito bite or something. Anyway, so I wanted to share this and I would love your thoughts and feedback. So if at any point you're like, I want to leave a comment, love that because I go back and I read them and I find it fun. So check it. So we're moving into the summer solstice here. And so like what? That's like sunshine, energy, all the things, longest day. Potent time. It's an impotent time, not to be confused with an impotent time. No judgment, no judgment. Anyway, so y'all, something that I just want to like draw awareness to, and first of all, I want to give it as a shout out. Like, if you are doing any healing work whatsoever, like if you're like doing the thing, if you're diving into your shit, if you're looking at your traumas, you're looking at your lived experience, you're looking at generational trauma, and you're like, wow, that's a thing. And you are getting support, or you're supporting yourself, and you're finding ways to um, cultivate love and compassion for these areas. Like, I just want you to know how valuable that is in this quantum realm. If you're doing anything, right? If you're like just looking at yourself in reflection, like, why did I say that? Or why did I do that? If you even have that that essence activated in you to look at yourself from a curious place, from a place of a witness. I'm so grateful that you're on this earth plane. I'm grateful if you're on the earth plane and you're not doing that. And I'm not talking to you. I am talking to you if you're listening. But anyway. And for those of you who are like really looking at the stuff, like maybe you're recognizing that you've had this chronic pain and you're like, I am done with this shit. And instead of maybe like, let me just find another band-aid for it, you're like, what is the root cause of this? Like, why have I always had this pain in the neck? Or why is my back hurt? Or why do I always have this problem in my knee? Or whatever that is. To actually look inward at the patterning around it. Like, wow, like doing more work and like looking at like energy and the subtle body and just the bigger picture, which is also super micro. Like, I get that. I'm so grateful for every one of you who is willing to do the work. Because if you're in this world and you're not willing to do the work, it's okay. And what I'm finding is that those that are unwilling to do the work um, are physically not very comfortable. They are in so much resistance to the energy that is them, this greater picture of the I am. And really their life is kind of getting painful. And as we do this work, it, I think, allows a lot more grace and compassion when we look at others in their fucking work. Because it's like, oh, I feel you because I've been there, I've done that. Oh, I remember how bad that sucked. It's like I remember when I was getting divorced. Yo, that was like, it was such a hard time. It was such a hard time in my life. And I remember thinking like, man, I got some people in my life that I really hate. At the time I did. I don't right now. But at the time I thought, man, I hate some motherfuckers in this world. And I still would not ever wish this pain on them. The pain and grief of like loss and the unknown and feeling confused and afraid and all of those things. It's like when you move to a new town and or somebody dies, they're like these really big things that you're just like, this is hard. This is hard. But now, I'm grateful that I've had these hard experiences. That is not the only hard experience, but that's one that comes up. Um, but when others have these hard experiences, we can like legitimately be like, I understand. I understand from my own experience. I don't know what it is you're exactly feeling, but my compassion for you is greater because I've had the lived experience. Now, if I don't ever do the work, if I don't ever look inward, then my ability to have compassion for myself is less, and my ability to have compassion for others is far less, right? Because if I don't choose to see it in myself, then I can't see it in someone else, right? If I can't see the pain and where it came from, because it's all childhood shit, we're just a bunch of kids in adult bodies. I mean, really, like, come on. If I can't see this like child that was neglected or this child that was abused or whatever, then I won't be able to see them as the child that they too are. And then I won't be able to hold them in the light of like potential growth. Because for me, I feel like it's still impossible and not even a realm of potential because I won't even look at it in myself. And that's what I just want to, first of all, commend is if you're doing any work, yay. And also, there's this type of focus in doing the work that can feel the word ferocious has been coming up. Like ferocious love. It's been like the theme. So this is kind of what it is that I wanted to talk about. Y'all, love is not just like, let me just sit back and I'm just gonna love you. It's not like giving gifts and shit. Although those things are nice. And if you ever want to send me gifts, like, please. I like gift cards, garden stuff, hands that help me do things in the garden. Gifts are great. And love is also more than giving, right? It's more than like giving money and it's more than giving gift cards and it's more than giving it's support, right? Sometimes love comes in the form of like death and destruction because that's life. And with death and destruction, that's where life begets itself. That's where more life growth comes in. That's where new things come online, right? It's like the death of my ego self, the death of this hurt part of me allows me to grow into something bigger, something brighter, something bolder, something better for who I am becoming. That death is such a beautiful thing. And ferocious love will go ahead and pick that and go ahead and kill it. Really. I mean, I'm not taking that to like an extreme of like, I'm gonna love everybody, so I'm gonna kill everybody in the whole planet. Like some people. Bill Gates, what? Anyway. Um, but it's that ferocious love. It's that mama bear energy. It's that um I'm holding, like there's a kid that's running in the middle of the road and I'm gonna grab him and pull him back. Or I'm gonna yell really ferociously so like they get startled. But it jumps them back from getting hit by a car, you know. Because if I'm just like, oh hey, little kid, there's a car. Oh, you didn't really react to that. Sorry, now you're a human speed bump, right? There's this time and there's this time of ferocious love, and I feel like we're walking into it, which means that we're gonna have bigger things that we get to look at. I feel like we're walking into a timeline of like, what the actual fuck? Like legit, like what the actual fuck? Like what's happening? Like there's a lot of death and there's a lot of this and there's a whole lot of endings and there's a whole lot of propaganda and there's a whole lot of fear and there's a whole lot of separation, which takes a whole lot of ferocious love to come together and to unify in hard times. It takes ferocious love to be able to be vulnerable and say, I'm experiencing grief and hard times right now. That's a ferocious love for self to be able to stand up for the self and say, hey, I'm having a trauma response right now. So I can't show up fully in the way that I want to. And I appreciate you offering me grace while I'd step away and go breathe for a minute so I can come back and be human with you. That to me is ferocious love. That is the love that says, I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm going to stand up for what's right and the highest good for love, Standing up for love, not just being a ferocious ass face just to show the power, but to be ferocious love for the safety of all, for the stewardship of the earth. To say, you know what, I'm going to be ferocious love and I'm going to stop using plastics. It might be a little hard for me, but I care about something bigger, you know? I care about something bigger and I'm going to stand up for it. I care about my body so much more, so I'm not going to hurt it anymore. I'm not going to put McMeals inside of it cuz that shit isn't even real. Like I'm going to stand up for love in such a ferocious way that people they can't not like abide by it, right? It's like if someone is trying to do something and you say no and they keep trying and you maybe you have to get loud. You have to say like, no, I said no. No means no. And then they're like, oh, okay, I get it, right? Like, you know, oh. It just made me think about, how there are some people with this distorted masculine energy, and man or woman bodies are like whatever. But it's a distorted form of the masculine energy that like no doesn't resonate and they keep pushing, right? That's not ferocious love. That's an asshole, right? That's someone that doesn't understand boundaries. That's someone that doesn't have grace and doesn't have respect and honor for a version of themselves outside of themselves. That's someone that needs to control and feels completely out of sorts if they can't. So that like distorted masculine energy is that one that just keeps on egging it on until whatever it is they're egging on just kind of like, I give up. Like, fine, fine. You take whatever you need. I don't even care anymore. I'll do without. I don't even care. And to be able to stand up in ferocious love in the face of that like inverted, distorted masculine energy that just keeps egging it on, that takes some power, y'all. Like literally, that takes a lot of power. That takes a lot of knowing who the I am is. It takes a lot of feeling safe and secure and grounded in our body and on this earth. It takes a lot of like will and personality. It takes like a whole lot of like creative energy to be able to figure out how the fuck am I going to tell this person whatever I need to tell them in love so that they fucking get it. It takes a lot of fluidity and being agile and like kind of like dodging and ducking and like navigating and juking through those interjective like punches or whatever that they're asserting. um and to be able to do that takes so much heart because it's so easy to just give up, and it's only easy in the now to give up. It's really easy in the now to be like, fine, I concede. Fine, just whatever. I'll take the vaccines. Like whatever. I'll take those shots. Whatever you do with my body, whatever you want. I give up. And I personally have been there so many times in my life where I literally was just like, you do whatever to me. I don't care anymore because I legit can't fight it, and it's easier for me to deal with you if you're not continuing. But I didn't have the ferocious love for myself. If I had the ferocious love for myself, I would have fucking walked out. Like I would have left, right? I would have like, peace out. Like I'll be alone, right? But I was too codependent at the time, right? I was addicted to the hits and the payoff of this abusive relationship of whatever sort because I was in my own abusive relationship with myself, right? Because that's what it is. And to really step into ferocious love means that some shit is going to die. Relationships aren't going to stay alive. Because a lot of times if we say no, like if you have a job and you've been the person to always work until 8 o'clock at night, but you technically got off at 4. The lighting on here is so weird. It keeps going in and out. Anyway, you always work till 8, but you're supposed to get off at 5. And eventually if you just tell the boss like, hey, um, I'm not going to do that anymore. I realized that I was doing this for the past 5 years and it's no longer in alignment for me. I'm going to choose some self care so I can actually live a longer life, so that I can actually maybe even work for this company even longer. You're right? That's ferocious love. And it's a lot of vulnerability. Ferocious love comes with so much vulnerability, and that's where so much strength comes from. To be able to stand up in that space is so important. And I feel like it needs to be activated. It doesn't need to be, but like I'm encouraging this shit to be activated. But for Roto, for whatever it is that we're getting ready to move into, the ferocious love that says no, the ferocious love that says, fine, you can come in here, and if you're going to come in here, you're going to do these things. Meaning, I'm going to tell you my boundaries, right? So if you come in my house, I have boundaries, right? You take your shoes off when you come in my house. That's really the only boundary. That and I have a plumbing. No, that's another story. Anyway, the boundary is like you take your shoes off when you come into my house, right? So it's like, okay, well, if you're coming in, I'm going to tell you what you got to do. And if that's not in alignment, well, then you can't come in, right? It's kind of like if you're going to have sex with me. Like, I'm going to have boundaries. No STDs, please. No vaccines, please. Yeah, imagine that one. That's a whole new thing. Whole new thing, yo. God, being like, it's like I always have had. This is such a conversation with Flash. I've had enough ferocious love for myself to like, if I'm going to be in an intimate experience, I'm like, so have you been tested lately? Like, can we go over those? Let's go over that stuff. And now I'm kind of like, have you gotten that technology in your body? Because I kind of don't want that in mine. That was such a conversation with Flash. I'm gonna go back to the ferocious love. Anyway, um, but yeah, the encouragement and the invitation is to really dive deep so that we know what our truths are, so that we know what we're standing up for is in love for life. And that life that we're standing up for is the life of us, this inner light, this inner child, this purity, this essence of us. It's standing up for the essence of us so that we continue to um, propagate this divine blueprint of the human, the divine human on earth, you know? Because if we keep placating and like, oh, whatever, I'll let you trespass against me and I'll just, whatever, I'm not even going to trespass against you, you just, whatever, then we become very weak. We diminish our light, and then whatever light we have literally just feeds into an energy field that isn't serving life itself. It's not congruent with the life pattern in the quantum. It's a different EMF, it's a different frequency. So, standing up for love with ferocity for ourselves, for the elders, for the kids, and for the earth. That's, I think, what we're getting ready to walk into. So, do the work, the invitation. Transmute what you need to transmute. Heal it, clear it, forgive it, love it. Like, get yourself a spiritual guide. Hit up a shaman, right? Like, Reiki's great. Beyond Reiki, y'all. That's it. Just let me move your energy around. It's some deep shit. And if you're not willing to go down deep, deep, deep inside to those really dark places, then you won't be able to shine as fully and brightly on the opposite end of that. Because everything is a reflection of itself. So if I have grief and I've like been down in the grief, then I literally can get that much higher beyond neutral, way up here in joy, right? But if I'm holding grief back, I don't want to feel it. Nope. I don't want to. I ain't got time for that. I don't want to feel it. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to feel grief. I don't want people to think I'm weak. I don't want to be labeled as depressed because I'm feeling a human thing. Then the amount of joy that we can experience, if this is neutral, my little thing where my paintings are, if that's neutral, then the amount of joy that I can experience is only going to be here. So it really pays off to like dive deep so that we can be way up here And then when we speak, we're in this like really aligned place because we went down to the depths and we are ready to be up here and we're ready to bring it all together and live from this space. And it's going to take a lot of, it's not going to take a lot, but it requires being grounded and anchored in the who I am and who the I am is and connected to this bigger picture so that we can live it. And it is ferocious. Like love is patient and love is kind and it is beautiful and it is harmonious and it is delicious. It is light. And love is also dark and fiery and juicy and deep. And if I'm afraid of going to that end of love, then I won't experience the other end of love. If I can't speak to it, then I won't be able to literally create, because sound is a part of the creation. So stand up for yourself, dive deep. If there's any support I can offer, I have one-on-one sessions available, taking some time off in July. So if there's any personal sessions, send me an email. I can work with you on this, or refer you to maybe someone else that would be your jam. There are beautiful, beautiful people in this world that are literally here to serve the heart. I'm one of them. And I don't fuck around. And if you're interested in like getting connected in like a conscious community, whether you're local or not, I have a meetup group that's online so that I can like hold events and you can like kind of be a part of that. So it's in my bio link. You can click that and you can be like, I'm going to click the Eternal Now Conscious Community. I'm going to be a part of that. But yeah, don't be afraid of the ferocious nature of love. Like, let that be that mama bear energy, that volcanic energy, that tsunami energy that just clears the way. Because it takes a brave soul to do that. And I get it's not for everybody. I get it. But if this resonates for you, we need you to stand up. We need you to like put on your like spiritual militia boots and like get your mala beads and your bracelets on and like whatever it is, burn your sage, what the fuck ever. And stand up for ferocious love. Be it. So, thanks for listening. And remember how loved you are. And we got this. We can't fuck it up. We're all here till the end, called death. So like, why not why not stand up for love? Like, what if this is our chance to actually like unify, to dive deep, to shine bright, to play and be agile and to connect in communities all over the world of other high vibe fucking conscious people who are willing to like reflect truth in love and compassion and grace. That's what we're here for. We can do this. It's so accessible. Like, we can do it. I just get excited about that. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for taking the time to check this out. And just remember how loved you are. You are so fucking loved. You're so loved. You're loved more than you will ever know. Your light is more powerful and desired to be here more than you'll ever know. And every single way of being that you are, although it may be weird and it may annoy the fuck out of some people, it's super fucking cool because you're the only one that can do it the way you do it. So thanks. Thanks for being on this earth journey at the same time as me. And I love you. And I'll see you next time.